Thank you for joining us, everybody. We're going to get our show started in just a couple of seconds here. I want to remind everybody, if you could just share this broadcast, we would greatly appreciate it because it would help us get more views and make the show a lot more exciting for live interaction. So please, don't forget to share the broadcast. We also appreciate all of your likes and comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and get ready for Spit The Wit. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to this show that was entirely produced and developed by the people sitting in front of you. Jessy Meadows and Frankie Almost. Brought to you in part by Rolling Hills Productions. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Spit The Wit. Jessy, if you would be so kind, would you please tell us what today's show's about?
Okay, everybody, we have a really special guest on tonight. I'm excited. She means a lot to me. And we're also going to be talking about the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and aliens and reptilians and the lost city of Atlantis.
And now, here is your host, Frankie Almost!
Oh, wow. I honestly don't think we're talking about any of those things that you mentioned. Well, we might. It depends. We wanted to apologize to everybody in case you're just joining us, or if you are joining us again. We started our broadcast at 6 p.m. as we were supposed to, but we had so many technical glitches that we had to start the broadcast over again. So we're just going to do the whole show over again, and eventually we're going to erase the old one. And I apologize for that. We had some major malfunctions that were basically mostly Facebook issues, not anything that you see here in the studio. So anyway, welcome. It is Friday. What is today's date, babe?
Today is the
16th, 17th, something like that?
The 17th, actually. I thought it was the 16th.
17th, okay. February 17th, and it is 6:30 p.m., and welcome to Spit The Wit. I am your host, Frankie Almost, and of course we have Jessy Meadows, my lovely wife, and
Hello.
Co-host. Did I say co-host twice? I think I did. Okay.
I said lovely wife and co-host.
I think I said co-host and lovely wife and co-host.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But, yeah, so I'm a little frazzled, and I apologize about that. But here we are, lo and behold, and I say that phrase a lot, too, for anybody that doesn't know. Lo and behold is a phrase that I use a lot. So we have in the studio somebody that, well, means a lot to both of us, but we're not going to divulge that yet. Her name is Syvon Hills, and there are various things about Syvon Hills that are I guess irregular compared to most people, and I don't mean irregular in a derogatory term. Unique. Okay. Well, some people think unique might be taken derogatory too.
You're unique, I know. So,
so we got Syvon Hills here, who is a 79-year-old woman who just turned 79 in when was it? December 20th, 1937, right?
Right.
So you're as old as Krispy Kreme donuts. Did you know that? You're the same age as Krispy Kreme donuts. Did you know that? Yeah. Okay. So, and not only is she as old as Krispy Kreme donuts, and not only is she a beautiful woman, she's my mother, and that's what makes her so special to us. It is her mother-in-law, my mother. So let me turn the camera on her, and we'll get to know her and a little bit about her, and then, like I said, we're just catching back up, so apologize. So, Syvon,
yes.
do you know which camera is your camera to look at?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, so we're going to switch you over to that camera, and you're live now. This is Syvon Hills, everybody, my mother. Hello, Syvon.
Hello. You're speaking about Krispy Kreme. I believe they started in November of 37, and I was born in December of 37.
Oh, so they're actually older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
I believe that's the right date.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Syvon, so we can get to know you, for those that didn't see the other broadcast. We'll just start over again. Tell us a little
as
bit.
you've
Yeah.
told them, I'm 79.
Uh-huh.
I just had my first great-great-grandson.
Wow.
I have 6 children. I have 8 grandchildren. I have 8 great-grandchildren. And I have 1 great-great.
Wow.
So I have quite a family. I never will forget, we were at one of our rehearsals for Michael's birthday.
Who's Michael?
Michael Colvin, he's my grandson.
Okay.
Anyway, we were sitting there not doing much of anything, waiting for him to wind up the practice. And Kevin, my son-in-law, said, "Do you realize, Syvon, you're responsible for about half of the people here?" And of course I hadn't thought about it that way, but I started checking everybody out, and I was pretty close to being half of everybody.
Meaning responsible for their existence,
Yes.
had it not been passed through your bloodline kind of thing.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yes, so I had, in other words, I am leaving my legacy behind me with a big family.
Right. Speaking of Michael Colvin, if it hadn't been for Michael Colvin, her and I wouldn't have met because.
Oh, is that correct?
Yeah,
well, that's right. You were up there with me.
I was up there for Michael and Mary Beth's wedding,
Right.
and I was recently down in the dumps because I was dumped by some stupid girl, but that ended up being to my benefit because had that not have happened, I would have never met her, and so it's because of Michael and Mary Beth getting married that her and I ended up ever meeting each other. So we're thankful to them for that, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we were at Tahoe, and we were in the casino. I believe it was Harvey's, right?
Harrah's is where I met her.
Okay.
Yes.
And I went dry on my money. I was playing a slot machine, and Frank I knew was playing blackjack. So I went up to the front, and I walked over and found him, and I said to him, "Got some money?"
Oh, you're talking about me because you said Frank, and that's typically when you're talking
Frankie,
about your husband.
I'm sorry. Yeah, most of the times I will say Frank now. But
Right.
anyway, I said, "Got any money?" He said, "Sure." And he pulls out 100 and hands it to me. And I go dancing off with the 100 in my hand. Jessica looks at Frankie. Now, she just met him and said, "Who is that woman?"
She said,
That's when I met Jessica.
"She said, do you know that lady?" And I was like, "No, I'm just a very generous man."
That's what I thought.
And I'm a very lonely, generous man, and she fell for it. So I fabricated the story a little bit in order to gain some clout from the woman dealer. So I'm just kidding. No, I told her you were my mom, of course.
No, he came over to me later on when she went on break or something, and he said, "That's the woman I'm going to marry."
Wow.
That is a true story. I did say that.
Here I am.
Of course, I say that about every girl I meet, but
Oh, okay.
That makes you feel real good.
I am so kidding. I am so kidding. You're only one of about 6, so.
You know what? That's it. I'm out. Jeez.
But I knew as soon as I saw her, I was like, that's the one that I want to be with. So, and I kind of looked at God and said, that.
Well, of all the proposals I got as a young woman, I picked the right one.
Yeah.
Out of all of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Frank Hills, your husband?
Well, he was from New York City. Hell's Kitchen area. He was always very smart, and he always worked. He used to carry ice on his back up 3 or 4 floors in the tenants, and then in the wintertime they shovel snow for days trying to get the streets where you could walk and drive on them again. So he always worked. He started, I guess, when he was like 13 years old, he started working. He joined the Army at 17, and he went to Korea, and he was awarded 2 medals over there. It was a bad war. It really was.
Yeah.
Things that happened to the men over there was was very, very
The
sad.
forgotten war, as you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody ever does a movie about it. Nobody ever talks about it. It's like
I wonder why
swept
that
under the
is.
rug. I don't know. And Korea is so flourishing now.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, if you ever get a chance and you hear about a movie called Pork Chop Hill, go see it.
Yeah.
That was made for Korea's war.
And when did that movie come out, though?
Oh my Lord! It
Yeah,
came
see,
out.
exactly.
It probably came out in the late 50s, early 60s. I believe early 60s might be a good place to start.
And that's a sad thing, because we were talking about the Korean War, and that wasn't that was made in the 60s, and that's the only movie that beside Incheon, and what a piece of crap that was, right? No offense to Jacqueline Bisset, because I actually had a crush on her for a while, but that's the thing, is like you got this war, and now Korea is like one of the most flourishing, especially Seoul is one of the most flourishing places
It's beautiful now
in Asia, and there's almost nothing for the Korean veterans. There's no movies, everything, Platoon, all those old movies, it's all Vietnam, everything's Vietnam always. And so I urge any directors out there that it's owed to our Korean veterans, my father being one, that a movie be made about the Korean War, because a lot of things happened there, and I don't think people realize, especially younger generations. But I'm not really big on the war. Like I don't know that much about it myself, except for what I studied, because there's nothing out there. And from what I heard, Seoul was taken over twice.
Yes.
Before it finally was under command of South Korea and America taking command of it. It had turned hands twice, and had people like Dad and of course Korean soldiers fighting for their country too. Had it not been for those people, Seoul would be owned by the communists, and I don't think that people realize that.
See, Vietnam was our embarrassment. That wound up being communist anyway. And Korea now still is free. And most of the people over there, particularly the older people, they still love the Americans because we helped them retain their freedom from communists.
Right.
So they really, really appreciate the American people. The older people do. The younger people are beginning to say, we don't remember any of that. It doesn't affect us anymore.
Right.
But I look at the pictures of Seoul, Korea now, and I cannot believe it. It is absolutely magnificent as a city, and there's still got many places to tear down and rebuild. And it's just nice to see that my husband helped make it where they are still free of communism.
Right. And, along those lines, I wanted to talk about, one of the last times that I was visiting you and Dad in North Carolina, where they were living, we had gone to a Korean restaurant because we've always, shared in Korean tradition, and we love Korean food.
And we loved it.
Yeah, it's some of the first solid food that I ever ate in my life. And so we were at this Korean restaurant, and my dad had a vet hat on for the 82nd Airborne, which wasn't the division he went over to Korea as. He was 101st, I think.
No, he didn't.
No, 187. 187.
Right.
He was a 187 Airborne Division in Korea, but he was wearing an 82nd Airborne hat, which is where he graduated jump school as 82nd Airborne. So this older Korean gentleman that was probably in his late 70s, I would say, came over to our table and literally got on his hands and knees and thanked Dad up and down, and made me and my niece Nicole, we were just like, whoa, and we started crying and tearing up a little bit, because it was very nice to see that somebody appreciated it that much. I wish I would have known that old guy's name, and I wish that I would have thanked him, because I didn't felt like it involved us so much, because it was their domain. And so but looking back in hindsight, I wish that after that had taken place, that I would have pulled that guy off to the side and thanked him for thanking Dad.
Sometimes things are so brief like that we don't get the chance to do all we would have done had we had a couple of moments to think about it.
Right.
And that happens to everybody. That's just life.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did what he wanted to do, and that was to thank Frank.
Yeah, and it was very touching, and you could tell the sincerity and the guy had in his voice and everything. I mean, he was almost teared up himself. So, and that was let's see, that was probably just about a year before Dad passed away.
Oh,
yeah, I think it was 2012. Yeah, it was one of the last times that I visited.
Oh, that was that Red Bull place that you went to?
It was the Korean restaurant when we were sitting in the back. Yeah, it was actually a Korean store, but they had a small restaurant in the back.
That's right. Yeah,
anybody that's from Charlotte, Matthews.
Go there about once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a little hole in the wall, but
right.
They were always so good to Frank. They always made sure they had all the lettuce that he liked and everything.
Yeah, they were super nice people.
Yeah, really.
Roxanne.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, you want to read it? Go ahead, babe.
Okay, so Roxanne Ramirez said, "Yes, I would really appreciate a movie made with regards to this. My uncle Roy Ramirez was also airborne in Korea."
I didn't know that, Roxanne. I've actually known Roxanne for the people in the studio that don't know. Roxanne watches our show. I wouldn't say religiously, but she's been here a couple of times. And I've actually known Roxanne since, let's see, about 2004. We used to work at a bar called Norma Jean's together. She was a bartender, and I was a karaoke / event DJ. And we had some really good times at that place too. And thank you for sharing, Roxanne. And yeah, I agree with you. It's ridiculous that they can regurgitate the same war over and over and over. Not that, God forbid, every war needs to be looked back on and appreciated. But I mean, is there no room for Korea? I mean, we've done World War II, World War I.
I was just going to say, I think MASH is the one that stopped a lot of movies because that was such a popular television show.
So you think the fact that they turned it into a comedy made it to where they didn't want to talk about it? It's so funny.
It had its moments though, when it did show sincerity.
Yeah, it was definitely a good sitcom. You know what I thought was funny, and we used to talk about this a lot when we were living in Korea. We were living in Korea when that show aired. And a lot of times they would show villagers that were supposedly Korean, and they would be speaking in Japanese or Vietnamese or Chinese. They weren't speaking Korean, and we were like, are they seriously trying to pass this person off as Korean? It was so ridiculous, but I think...
They can't do that, shouldn't do that anymore because we're too international now.
They would get called out so fast if they did that now. Yeah, absolutely. But back to the subject, I absolutely believe that somebody needs to direct a good Korean War film to educate some people on that, because there's younger generations of people that don't understand what the war was about, and they actually revolt. There are Koreans in Korea that are younger people, like Psy actually, and Psy wrote Gangnam Style, and I thought that was a great song. And getting to this, Psy, if you happen to be watching, I liked your song Gangnam Style just like everybody else in the world when it came out.
Yes.
And we all started jumping around like idiots along with you until I found out that you had songs that were talking about killing Americans. Yeah, not very cool, dude. Not very cool. My dad fought for your country and along with your own people, and had that not happened, you would have never made an album because you would be under North Korean rule, and you would be literally a slave to your own government. So I definitely revoke, and I don't play Psy's music on any of my shows since I found that out. Did you know that?
I was so upset because
I
think like half those views are from me.
Yeah.
I love.
After about the third time, though, it's enough.
I loved it. I loved the video.
It was a great song. It was well produced, but too bad that he has those views that he has because, as I said, had that war not have happened, he wouldn't have a choice to make an album.
He would be starving along with all the rest of them.
Right, exactly. And it's horrible, it's horrible that people don't understand, and that's why we need somebody to make a Korean War movie. So in I guess in lieu of that, we're going to play a video. This is when my dad passed away in 2013 on August 21st at 9:50 a.m. in the morning. And he was such a revered man, even as a civilian. When they lived in a neighborhood, my mom and dad lived in a neighborhood where the coach for the Panthers for the North Carolina Panthers in the same neighborhood and stuff. So he was friends with the coaches and stuff like that. And all of his neighbors loved him, and he used to stand out by this electrical box in their neighborhood, and he just like waved to people as they were coming and going to and from work when he would be walking Bella, my mom's dog. And so when my dad passed away, the news actually, like the neighborhood had called the news and got them out there. So I wanted to share this with people just to let, just to pay homage to my father and to let people in, on a little bit of what our life is about. So bear with me while I start that video right now. Okay, here we go.
A South Charlotte community mourns the loss of a neighbor. Frank Hills is remembered as a kind man, celebrated for greeting people every morning as they start their days. News 14 Carolina's Leslie May shows us how neighbors paid a special final tribute to him.
For years, Frank Hills was known as the friendliest face in his South Charlotte neighborhood.
He made the kids feel so comfortable. I mean, everyone knew him, everyone knew his dog.
Just about every day, along with his dog Bella, he'd stand on this corner in the community of Deerfield Creek, waving to his neighbors and handing out treats to their pets as they headed off to their day.
He's always such a jovial spirit. He always had something very, very positive to say.
But as the neighborhood's children set out for the first day of school Monday, Hills wasn't there. He passed away last week at the age of 82.
He was a very special man.
So as his family prepared to lay Frank's body to rest, his community gathered to pay one final tribute in the best way they knew how. Gathering on his corner early Tuesday morning, waving to the people passing by, just as Frank had done on so many days before.
I don't believe that he ever knew how many people he actually touched. It was just a simple wave.
Neighbors who gathered for the tribute say Hills, a veteran of both the Korean and Vietnam Wars, was a beloved daily presence.
He made you slow down, and you didn't have to. You just wanted to when you saw his smile going in and out of the neighborhood every day.
And they say through the simple gesture of waving, he served as a constant reminder of the goodness still present in the world.
He's not gone. I think maybe he's always going to be there for us. And after we get through the sadness, we'll just be grateful that we had that time with him.
Leslie Mays, News 14 Carolina.
So it was awfully nice of the news company to do that for my dad, and what a hard time that was. And it was a good send off though. Dad would have been happy.
I think so.
We had who was it that the retired veterans motorcycle club. I mean, there must have been 70, 80 guys out there.
Yeah.
And all their choppers and stuff, and all their their veteran garb and stuff, and they were
and
standing.
Bella was right there for the wake.
Yeah,
and everything.
Bella's my mom's dog. I know we touched on that on the previous broadcast of the show, so we're gonna bring that up. If you hear the pitter patter of little feet, it is not my mom's great grandchild. It is her dog Bella, which she gave to my dad back in 2002, and we have a video of that we're going to be showing in just a little bit here too. So if you hear a dog, that's my mommy's dog, Bella. You want to tell us a little bit about Bella, Mom?
Oh, actually, I gave her to Frank on Christmas of 2002, but about a month early, because the lady that had the dogs wanted to get rid of them. And so I went over with my one daughter, Laura, and gave her the money for Bella and brought her home. And I took her into the house in my arms, and I said to Frank, "Happy birthday." And Frank's famous words were, "For me."
Yeah.
And we have none in the family have forgotten that and how it made us feel.
Right. And since you introduced it like that, why don't we go ahead and play that video so that everybody can just see what you're talking about here. So this is the day that my mom gave Bella to my dad, and we're going to play that right now. And when we come back, we'll try to get Bella on camera. So stay tuned.
Oh, she's nervous now.
Oh.
Where's Daddy?
On the couch, chair.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, Pretty. How you get? You nice girl?
Little girl.
You nice girl? You pretty?
Oh, look at your box.
You look just like your grandma. Are you cold?
She's nervous.
You nervous?
Yes, she's very nervous.
What kind of a Duke's mixture is this?
Dad is a Jack Russell Terrier.
That's Jack Russell.
Her dad is a champion, but she doesn't have papers, but we don't plan on doing anything.
What do you need papers for? Just want a nice little pretty, don't we?
Aww. She might need to pee here, I don't know.
Oh, that's a good place.
Yeah, better than my carpets.
That's what my shirt.
Oh, that's so cute.
Isn't she pretty?
How old is she?
2 months, on the 25th.
Oh.
Oh, look at her little tail. She's
Oh. How big is it? Oh.
Her little tail is crazy.
You're such a pretty.
What you gonna name her, Pops?
Huh?
Yeah. What you gonna name her?
Too soon.
Name her nicely.
Pretty.
Pretty?
Hey, Poppy. Hey, Poppy. Hey, Poppy. Hey, Poppy.
I have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't know her personality and stuff yet.
Syvon is too hard to say for something. Thank you, baby.
We call you Marty.
Marty Crane?
This is our present.
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah. And so what the ending of that, the verbiage that you saw up there was basically just saying that that Bella is still alive and thriving and everything. So we were trying to get her to come in here, but we think she's passed out in the other part of the studio. I will say this, Mom. You look much better now than you did then.
Yes, I was a little bit heavier then than I am now.
I mean, other than being heavy, I think you just overall you're one of those people that age like fine wine. You've just gotten better looking.
Thank you for the compliment.
Of course.
That's a nice one.
It's all honesty too. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
It's very true.
Yeah. So, kids, what do you guys want to talk about while I go try to scrounge Bella up?
Oh, well, what I had said was, yes, I'm wearing a Nightmare Before Christmas onesie.
Uh-huh.
Because onesies are like pretty much my favorite thing to wear, and I would wear them every day. And so I had mentioned that, like jokingly said that I wanted to set up a GoFundMe for my onesies. So if you make onesies or want to donate onesies, you have onesies you don't want anymore or whatever. So yeah, that's, and I hate when he does this. He gets up and he leaves, and then I'm sitting here talking. Okay, and I'm like, I don't really know what to talk about, so I'm just going to talk about onesies. Thanks, Frankie. Sweetheart. Love ya.
You're welcome. Look what I got.
And there's Bella.
This is Bella now, everybody. Say hi, Bella.
She's like,
how old is
dude.
she now, Mom?
She'll be 15 in September.
She'll be 15 in September, everybody.
And she still runs like a deer.
She still runs like a deer?
Yes, she's very quick.
So everybody in her family ages well.
Yes.
Good bloodline. Wait a minute.
Yes. I know I had very good genes. My mother and father were both very attractive people.
Hi, Belly. So that's my mommy's dog, everybody. Okay, I'm done with you. You gotta go now. All right.
I gave you my moment.
There's your 15 minutes, Belle. All right. So that's Bella. I woke her up from her senior citizen nap. Come on camera. So okay. So you were talking about your onesie. What were you saying?
I was saying that I wanted to set up a GoFundMe, or just like.
You know what? I picked up Bella and I put her on camera and I never faded over to her. So she's not even on camera. It was on Mom the whole time.
Oh wow!
I love live TV. It's so great. Hey Belle, come back here. Let me exploit you again.
Highly upset.
Come here, Belle. Come here, Belle. Oh gosh, I'm sorry about that, everybody. We're having a really, really weird day here.
Yeah, it's a weird day. It was a weird night last night.
You
so.
sure it's not Friday 13th?
Yeah, right?
It feels like it,
does.
doesn't it?
It
The
absolutely
weather
does. It's been 70 something degrees here every day, sunny, and today it's like gloomy and rainy, and we had a really weird light last night. It's just been really weird. Hey, Belle is coming back. Hey, baby, why don't you tell a story again, and I'll try to grab her.
Oh my gosh, no.
Come
Besides, you shouldn't be trying to pick.
It's okay. I'm highly allergic to dogs, but it's for the show, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to remember that about 15, 20 minutes from now.
It's okay, Belle. It's okay.
We gotta say hi. We didn't do it last time. There we go. Okay. That's Bella, everybody. Look at that camera. She's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's Belle. 15-year-old Bella. Okay. Okay, I'm done. Go see Mommy.
Come on, darling.
Go see Mommy.
Belle. Say, what do
She's
you want, Frankie?
She's like, I got lights on. You've been putting me in this chair
What
like
do you
twice
want?
now.
What do you want me to do?
Oh, it's so funny, though. Okay, Belle, you're going to sit in that seat the whole night, and everybody's just going to stare at my crotch? Okay. Sounds great. You're going to sit on my lap? Let me sit with you? Can I sit with you? Oh, she's gone.
Now she's gone.
She's gone. She kicked the seat out from underneath me and almost fell into the TV behind me. Oh, man. That would have been great.
Okay, so we got... Okay, so for some reason, like, the chat comes up real slow. But
Oh,
Roxanne,
gosh, it's a nightmare. Look at... We got this whole... You can read it off there if you're ever wondering.
well, no, I've got it right here on the phone.
But it shows up there quicker.
Yeah. Love your onesie and Bella's beautiful is what Roxanne said.
Okay.
And then Alessa Ferris said...
Alicia.
They got one of those that Roxanne says she didn't hear what my name was.
Syvon, Syvon.
You're so adorable. I miss your mom.
Oh, Alicia said that. Alicia Agiloni, Mom.
Yeah, Agiloni,
Yeah.
yes.
So, she said that she misses seeing you. We miss your family, too.
We miss you, too.
Yeah, we miss your family, too.
We miss that street. It was a nice street.
Yeah, we always talk about the old days. For those of you that are watching, Alicia Ferris Agiloni grew up, since I was 9 years old, right down the street from us, and we spent a lot of time at each other's houses, so... Yeah, gets me choked up thinking about those times. So, anyway, we love you, Alicia. Thank you for watching. Okay, what else are we talking about, guys?
Well, your mom hasn't gotten to talk about dancing in this broadcast.
Okay, let's do that.
Do what?
Go ahead and tell your dancing story again, because we're deleting that old broadcast that was messed up. Yeah.
Well, my brother was very active when he was young, and he loved to dance.
Which brother is this, Mom?
Jitterbug had just came out.
Which brother is this?
Maurice Levain, my second brother.
Okay.
And he learned how to jitterbug very quickly, and he was very, very good at it. The girls used to line up at the dance halls to dance with Levain. And I danced with him on the nights that there was no girls to dance with him. I know it had to be hard for him to dance with his 8-year-old sister, but we did do that, and we went to a place called the Plantation Club in Wilmington, North Carolina. And after we finished dancing, the people would throw money out, and I can remember, this is the only thing I can really remember of that time, was I can remember getting on the floor and picking up all the change and everything.
Uh-oh.
And, I still don't know who got that money.
Right.
I don't know if Daddy got it or Maurice Levain got it or what. I know I didn't see any of it.
Right. That's typically the way.
Yeah. But anyway, I took one of my daughters to Hong Kong when she turned 15. And I went downstairs after she went to bed and was dancing. And a gentleman had come over and asked me to dance, and I was dancing with him. And when the dance was over, we were walking off the floor, and I felt somebody touch me on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "What?" And he said, "You dance me." And I said, Okay.
Was
and
he a
then
caveman?
I looked behind me, and behind him, and there was about 15 guys in line.
Was he a caveman? Why did he say "you dance me"? Oh, he was speaking pidgin English.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Pidgin English. He was Japanese.
Oh, Japanese guy. Okay.
Yes. So I danced with him, and as soon as I got off the floor, the next one would come over. Very politely, not rude at all, or anything wrong with the way they acted. They were very, very nice.
Yeah.
They just wanted to dance. I've had to do the same thing in China at the Forgotten City.
Uh-huh.
And all they want to do is for you to take a picture with them, or they want to be able to show their friends at home.
Right.
Look, I met an American, and here she is. So.
And you're talking about at the Forbidden City, not the Forgotten City.
Yeah,
right?
the Forbidden
City.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can vouch for that. I grew when I was born. Everybody, I had well, I don't know when I was born, but when I was about 2 or 3 years old, I had really, really blonde hair, almost as blonde as Jess, and it was just really light for some reason. I don't know. It went darker, but it was
like that.
It was a rarity in Korea to look like that. So people literally like mobbed me like I was Michael Jackson or something. And they came from across the street, and everybody wanted to touch my hair, and it was pretty frightening as a child and everything, and I didn't really care for it. I kind of wish it would happen to me now. I wish people would run from across the street and say, "Oh my God, look at you!" But that doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was pretty odd. But to be an anomaly in a foreign country and stuff like that was quite frightening as a child. But
oh, and Louise just joined.
Louise.
Yes. Louise
nice.
Cutler.
Hello, Louise
Hi,
Cutler.
Louise.
How are you, Louise? Josh and John's mother. Yeah. So
I know that you and Laura and myself were all blondes when we were born.
Isn't that weird? And
yes.
Dad's hair color. You said at one point, wasn't it red?
It
like
was
a strawberry
it was like
blonde.
A reddish color to it.
And then it went black.
Yeah.
I mean, it was black my whole life.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it turned gray.
Not black, more brown.
Yeah, but really, really dark brown.
Right.
Yeah, darker than mine even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're the family of different hair color that changes like a mood ring or something. I don't know.
We went through all the genes.
Yeah. Right. So let's see. There was other stuff that we talked about in the previous broadcast that we didn't get to in this one. Do you guys remember what any of those things were?
Okay, just really quick, I've got to say thank you to Alicia, and to Roxanne because they complimented my onesie. So I'm pretty proud of it. Thank you so much. I love it. It's comfortable. I need so many more of them. You
know, it's funny because we bought this onesie when we were her and I were DJing a thing for veterans up at Nellis Air Force Base, or at the Nellis housing, military housing. Mm-hmm. And so her and I didn't have costumes, and we actually have a video on YouTube on ICYTINS, ICYTINS, shameless plug. That is the name of the channel. So anyway, her and I did this Halloween party, and we needed costumes, and we didn't want to scare these kids, so we got costumes that were very non-threatening, and this was her costume, and then I got like some Jack Skellington thing and everything. So that's why she even has the onesie.
Yeah, and I haven't wanted to take it off since.
Yeah. She's trying to get people to send her more onesies because she wants onesies, and we're doing this show almost solely on sponsorships. So we're always shouting stuff out that we're like, oh, please, would Coca-Cola please send me a case of Coca-Cola?
Hint. And yeah, I'm going to start my own show called I Wear Your Onesie.
Right. I wear your onesie on Facebook Live. That's the name of my show. All right, so back to Syvon. Let's see. Oh gosh, we have one frozen camera that just happened recently, which is pretty weird.
It's kind of creepy.
Isn't it kind of creepy? All the little things that are happening. Syvon.
Yes.
Okay, so we haven't touched so much on your great-great-grandchild as I think we did the first broadcast. Somebody knocking? Who is that? Hello?
That wasn't you.
No, it's nobody. We have a ghost in the room, and honestly, this is what's been going on. with Jess and I since last night, but we don't want to talk about that today because
we were trying to avoid that.
No, because we have a show that we're going to talk about paranormal kind of stuff on, and this is not the day, but yet it's almost like it's demanding being talked about. So anyway,
that seriously wasn't you.
That wasn't me. It's not me. Both my hands have been here. One was here and one's here. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, your grandchild. His name is Zayden, you said, right?
Zayden,
Zayden. And so it's kind of like Jaden, but with a Z.
Yeah.
And you said that Danita made up that name. That's
Bailey did.
Bailey did.
Bailey's the mother.
Bailey's the mom. Okay, so let me turn the camera to
Danita's
you. Or no, you're already on there.
Mother.
So, did we do this on the last broadcast, or did we not explain how and what side of the family your great-great-grandchild is on?
Well, it's my oldest daughter's.
Okay, so Karen.
Grandson now, and it's my great-great.
And her. Okay, so Karen's son, who is your grandson, is had a child.
Bailey had a child.
Wait, but
okay.
So we're going down the line to spell it out for people.
Yeah.
So your daughter Karen has a son named Mark.
Right.
And Mark had a daughter named Bailey. Right? And Bailey now has a child named Zayden, and that's what's making you a great-great-grandmother. That's crazy.
Correct.
That's crazy.
I'd like to make great-great-great, but that doesn't happen very often.
I wonder what percentage of people ever get to see great-great.
Not many, because I was for a while thinking about that, and I was hoping that I would live to be a great-great. And I was reading a paper every day, and the most I ever saw on there was a great-grandparent. And it was so funny. It wasn't too long before I found out that Bailey was having a baby that I found out that this lady had lived here in Las Vegas, had a great-great-great.
Really?
Yes, she was 96 or 7 years old.
Three great.
Three greats.
Wow.
And I said, well, I was proud of my great-great, but now I want the great-great-great.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's something to shoot
Somebody's
for.
going to have to get busy really soon for that to happen. Yeah.
Well, that little boy's just got here, so it'll be a while before he's ready.
Do you mind if I ask you a personal question on live on the air? I'm asking if you mind. Do you mind?
No.
Okay. Being that I'm your only son, I've always wondered, did it ever bother you and Dad that I never had any children?
Yeah, somewhat.
Somewhat?
Yes.
To what degree? I mean, like in what way?
I always said to Frank that I hope that Frankie meets someone.
Yeah.
And wants to get married and have a child before we leave this earth. And Frankie said, yeah, it would be good. But we got a bunch of grandchildren, so we should be happy for them.
Right.
So.
And now you have a bunch of grandfish.
Yes. And people are like, what the hell did she just say? And we will explain that now. So Jess and I, we don't have children from any previous marriages or this marriage, and we're not planning on having any kids, and somebody keeps knocking and there's nobody here.
Okay, is there any logical or technical explanation
there's
for
absolutely no reason for this going on. This microphone is here, this microphone is here, your microphone is there, and her microphone is there. Nobody's touching any microphones.
And, okay, so yeah, in my, for one thing, my headset's not working right tonight because I can't hear anything out of the left side.
Yeah.
And the right side, it sounds like somebody knocking on the door.
Right, and that's not the case. Okay, so anyway.
Hi, Danny. Danny Perkins.
Hello, Danny Perkins. How are you doing, Mom? Danny Perkins says hi.
Hi. Hi, hon.
So, let's see. Where the hell was I before the ghost started knocking?
Fish.
Okay. So, neither one of us have kids, and we have recently started raising beta fish or betta fish, depending on what your preference is, tomato kind of thing. So, we started with one betta fish, okay? And the next thing you know, we got another one, and then now we have 4. In 4 separate tanks, and our room is becoming like...
It's awesome. I love it.
One big aquarium. So we have a betta fish named Indigo that we saved from Walmart, and he was tucked away in the corner, and he looked like he had been abused. And we were walking by trying to get something else. We were totally there to just, I had like $10 to my name, and we're walking by to get like soap or dish soap or something for the house. And I saw the fish, and it was like he was screaming out to me to be saved. So I literally walked by and then stopped and came back and turned and looked, and there he was staring right in my face. And I looked at her and I said, we got to take him. And he's so dark that he looks black. And it wasn't until I got him in the light and looked at him up close that he's like this very iridescent indigo color, which is our favorite color. So I was like, we got to do it. I don't care. And luckily, he was only like $5. Mm-hmm. And so we had just enough to get him and the soap. And so we had him for 3 weeks, and he started acting weird, and he wasn't... he would sleep cuddled inside this silk leaf. Like the leaf was bent like this, and he would be rested in there like a little hammock. And he was blowing little bubbles, snoring to the top of the water. And it was the cutest thing you ever saw, but he slept like 90% of the day. And we figured because he had been so traumatized by people in Walmart picking him up and being like, hey, fish! So we let him sleep it off. Well, just the day before yesterday, just discovered while looking, because as you can see, my eyes are going bad. She's nearsighted, so she can see things up close really well, but I'm farsighted, so I can't see anything up close. Am I saying that right, or am I farsighted, you're nearsighted? I'm sure
nearsighted, you're farsighted.
Okay, yeah, so she's nearsighted, she can see shit up close. So she ended up looking really close with the light on him, and as I said, he's really dark color, and she noticed that there was this sheen all over him.
And he had velvet, which can be fatal, but it's easily treatable. But it's very contagious, and it is contagious to humans, too. Right.
So we went down and jumped in the car immediately and went and got him some chemical treatment at Walmart again because they were open. Mm-hmm. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. And we dumped him in there with this chemical treatment that basically looks like the fishbowl looked like Tidy Bowl. It's blue. Dark, dark blue.
Yeah.
And the second he got in the water, he was just like, dude, this sucks. And so he got all depressed, and about 4 hours later, he was just sitting at the bottom of the tank, man. And we just looked at each other and was like, oh my God. And she's like, babe, he stopped eating the day before this. And she's like, he's on the way out. There's nothing we can do. We can just hope for the best. So I then said to her, I said, well, maybe it's a possibility that we were supposed to find him so that he could at least be loved before he passed away. Because at Walmart, you could tell he was just there, as a thing. So I said, maybe that was the sole purpose, is that we will, he'll experience what love is before he passes away. And she was out in the garage, and he had finally got enough strength after she poured some salt in the water. He had gotten some
aquarium salt, just to clarify that it's not just table salt and dumping in there.
Here's iodized table salt.
We used to use table salt. They didn't have the aquarium.
It's horrible. Iodized table salt is horrible. But anyway, so he had finally got enough strength to go back up in his leaf, and that was promising to me because he wasn't hovering at the bottom of the tank anymore. So I was like, "Hey, little dude," and she was out in the garage, and I said, "You want to try to eat something?" And I threw him a little pellet, and the little son of a bitch ate the pellet. And I freaking teared up, and I ran outside and I said, babe,
yep,
he ate food, he ate.
And at first I couldn't make out what you were saying.
He ate, because I kept saying he ate. Yeah. He 9, he 10, he the shit. No. So
what does that mean? He ate,
So the fish ate the food, and it is the most promising thing, because everything you ever read, it says sick fish will still eat. Uh-huh. It's dying fish that won't eat.
And I honestly thought he was on the way out. I mean, we did everything we could, and I caught him, when I did. So I was hoping it wasn't too late. But I really thought he was on the way out, because I've never seen betas are like, I say beta even though it's beta. Betas are like,
sounds cooler.
Yeah. Plus my first ever beta fish, I named Alpha.
Alpha, beta.
Yeah.
Tell a friend.
So.
Boy, these are old jokes. You have to be over freaking 35 to know these jokes. Alpha, beta.
So I've always called them beta fish, I guess, to save face, because it wasn't as cute if it was alpha beta.
Right.
It was alpha beta. So.
Right. So I don't think my mom my mom was ever as much into fish. You weren't ever into fish like her and I. I mean, you had fish.
Yes.
But you were never like were you into them the same way we were? Like, did you have fish that came up to you like dogs like ours do?
You know, like I told you the other day, your pink-colored one.
Moonstone, yeah.
Yeah, that is the most friendliest fish I've ever seen, particularly be a betta.
Yeah.
He'll come right up to me when I come in the room, and I guess he hears me talking because he just makes all kind of little cute signs. His little pin feathers, or feathers, I said it again, gills, they just spin. He's so happy.
Yeah, and but it's crazy though that I've never seen a fish like him so much that comes up to the glass as if he's like when he's being called, like a dog.
Yeah, I go in there a lot of times just to watch him, come over to see me.
Right.
Because he's so cute.
Yeah.
And I bought them 2 aquariums that's like the Frozen movie.
Yeah, the movie Frozen theme.
And so they got 2 girls in each one of them.
Right. Because I don't know if we've disclosed this to you. For those of you that don't know, Jess and I live with my mother. So me and Jess were discussing, and I guess maybe here's as good a place as any to discuss this with you. We were thinking about breeding them. What do you feel about that?
You might could, but it is sometimes difficult.
Yeah.
Particularly that it's a clear aquarium, and they kind of like their privacy.
Right. Well, I don't think necessarily we were asking for permission, Mom.
You're asking for permission.
Because we might actually need that whole front room. Your whole house is going to become nothing but...
Oh, we're talking about taking over the house.
Yes, of course. There's money in raising betta fish, that's why.
It'll only be about 300 at a time.
Oh, yeah. So
I had 4 aquariums over in Korea.
You had what?
4 aquariums in Korea in the window in house 20. I had gone to the base, probably the commissariat, PX or something, and when I came home, I saw one of my fish looked really strange, and I walked over to it. They were all white and dead. They had turned up the thermostat on every aquarium.
Who did that?
My son, you, and your little playmate, the Chinese girl from across the street.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember her name. It was too young.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But
okay,
you two turned up every thermostat and boiled my
we
fish.
boiled the fish alive.
Boiled them, yes.
Okay, so that probably explains some of my my necessity to raise fish now. I guess I gotta make up for the ones that I killed. How many fish did I kill?
Oh my Lord! I had 4 aquariums, and I had a bunch of them. There had to be at least 30 or 40 fish.
Okay. You realize that by saying that, you just gave me permission to get 30 or 40 fish.
Yeah, okay, let's do it, all right? I've already got the next color picked up, because I actually want to go, I don't know if you guys have heard of Aqua Bid, but that's my next thing, is I'm going to do get a betta off Aqua Bid. Probably be posting pictures of that, and whoo!
Right. What? What?
Bella.
Oh, did Bella let one go? Is that what the hell's happening?
Yes, that's what's happening.
Okay.
Thanks for eyes water.
And that's unusual for her.
And unfortunately, we still have 5 minutes left. So.
Oh, she doesn't. She doesn't do that very often anymore. Yeah, she used to be really bad when she was on the other dog food.
Yeah.
But this new one, this is unusual for her.
Interesting.
But
Okay,
you didn't realize who was guilty of that. Huh?
Oh no, I knew it was Bella. I just didn't want to be like, the dog just pooted. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I wish that you guys could experience what we're experiencing in here. It's really hard. My eyes are watering and I don't.
It isn't that bad.
Let me tell you a story, okay? So apparently when you get older, you start losing your senses, right? Your sense of smell decreases and stuff like that. Okay. So when visiting my parents when they lived in North Carolina, there's 2 things that come up to make this the worst possible scenario for me. Okay, so my mom and my dad always take their dog everywhere, or I should say, used to take their dog everywhere. And so I was visiting them, and I was sitting in the back seat, and the dog was sitting up front with them. And just like right now. The dog, of course, being a dog, doesn't know, how to be uncouth or just lets one go. And my parents couldn't smell it. And the dog also likes to stand on the windowsills. And she turns off the controllers for the frickin' windows. So my parents would be up in front of this car humming and singing, and I'm back in the back of the car dying, trying to roll the windows down. And it didn't bother them whatsoever. And I mean, it was gagging me like I was going to die. And I'm
we
like...
were used to it. It wasn't that we didn't smell it, particularly me, because Laura will tell you my sense of smell is still very acute.
Yeah.
But
that is not a smell that I ever think I could just get over.
It's big want.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, let's see.
So, Roxanne said that she with this really cute comment. Hang on a second here.
Okay.
Well, no, I promise.
My boy dog named Sake?
Yeah, if I get a girl, she will be Sushi.
Sushi and sake.
That's cute.
Nice. And then when you throw sake into the tub to wash it, it's a sake bomb.
Aww.
Oh, we're stupid. Okay. But that was funny, yes.
And then Danny said that she was looking at betas at the dollar store.
They sell betas at the dollar store?
I guess.
Wow.
So we've got our work cut out for us.
Yeah. Betas at the dollar store. So they would be $1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder what kind of fungus they come with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I said we've got our work cut out for us.
The thing about her and I, though, is we're kind of like how people are with salvaging animals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have really, pristine, well-kept betas at Petco, but we're kind of, looking for the down and dirty ones because we want to get them off the streets and off crack. We want to get them off the streets and off crack.
We're trying to make honest fish out of them.
Right.
Well, I've been threatening to take them to walk, so I guess you could catch them on the street.
You were talking about putting the fishbowl in a stroller and walking.
Yes, exactly. I was going to walk him because he looked like he wanted to go somewhere.
Right. We do every once in a while put them on the kitchen counter so that they can get a different view and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, we love our fish.
Yes,
we're a little weird about it.
Yes, we do. We're pretty weird about
that. In fact,
that.
we're probably going to bring them onto the show one of these days.
Exactly. Pull them up by their little tails and show them. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time. And we also wanted to apologize for our previous broadcast. As you can tell, while watching this show, in comparison to our last show, we've been having a lot of technical difficulties.
This show is haunted.
This show is brought to you by ghosts. All right. But before we get out of here, I wanted to remind you guys that we are doing that Wayne Newton Shenandoah giveaway. Wayne Newton Casa de Shenandoah giveaway.
Don't miss that.
My mom and I went. Jess was supposed to go, but she was sick, of course, because she's typically sick.
I've been lately.
Yeah, lately. And so
still not over that flu bug.
Right, she's still got the flu. So, so Casa de Shenandoah. If you've never seen it, you need to Google it or watch some of our past episodes. We do a little brief tour of the tour, and we are giving away 2 tickets for $160 value, and all you have to do is either email us on our private accounts or on our Spit The Wit page. You do have to have liked the Spit The Wit page in order to be eligible to give away those tickets. $160 value, platinum tour, 2.5-hour tour of Wayne Newton's house. And apparently the ghost wants to go because it's like,
yeah, I know. I was like, oh, no, not again. Here we go.
And so if you want to go see Casa de Shenandoah, Wayne Newton's ranch out here in Vegas, and you're going to be in town, we can probably schedule this for whenever you come to town. Make sure that you let us know why you think you deserve the tickets, and we will give them to you if you're chosen. If you're the chosen one. It's my manga little stupid thing. Okay, so let's do that and end on that note, and hopefully we will have a winner by Tuesday at 11 p.m. and we will be announcing them at a 6 p.m. show on Wednesday. So be sure to stay tuned for that. What?
Okay.
You have something else you want to say?
No.
No. Syvon, Mom?
No, I'm fine.
You're fine?
It was a very good show, though, I think.
It was fun. I had a great
Yes.
time. It was a little different because, we were possessed by a strange anomaly ghost thing.
It's getting old.
And the other thing is because it was kind of like being in the living room, just being able to talk about whatever.
Right.
And having other people react. And it's really cool that we have the opportunity to do this on live camera because we get to see people like Alicia that we haven't saw for so many years and used to live next door to. So I always am fascinated by technology and always right at the forefront of it to jump on whatever happens. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you.
And we're going to be here Tuesday at 6 p.m. if we don't get attacked by ghosts after we shut down.
Hey, if you don't hear from us, then you know what happens.
Be safe, everyone.
My mother said for everyone to be safe, so make sure that you guys are careful in all of your outings. And come join us here at Tuesday at 6 p.m. Thank you guys so much. And
have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Oh,
Bye.
That time it was me hitting the
microphone.
microphone.
Yeah, that one made sense.